Oh, it's so lovely to see you all again. Honestly, it is. It is. I love opening up and seeing you. Hi, Sean. Hi, Cuz. You okay? Welcome back. I know if I can't see your faces, you must be eating.
That's why you.
Oh, Sean raised his hands. Wow, well, we've got something in store for you. Let's hope everybody is feeling as anxious as Gemini is, and as I am, as I am. Before I came on the platform, I was just giving God the glory of this 10-year journey that I've been on when I was really like headstrong in emotional intelligence and also neuro-linguistics. And I weren't at that level where I could execute it like I'm going to execute it today. Yeah. But I so wanted to, because the more I got into it, the more I enjoyed it. And I was like, man, there's people that need to hear this, man. And I just wasn't there. And I can still see all the books and the notes and psychology journals and everything that were there just mounting up. And the more I read, the more I meandered down another route and came back and went on a different study program. I just wanted to douse myself in this whole emotional intelligence, mindfulness, you know, all of it. Study of upstairs, mate. That's what's got me here, through, over, under, around, up, down when I needed to be down. But hey, so we're here today. Scott is here. Thank you. That's my partner right there. That's someone who's committed to the cause, and I have to just say thank you, because you know, people could be anywhere they wanted to on this day, because it's hot, and believe me, I am just, this ain't menopause, this is heat. This is, I've got the windows. I've got the window and the sun's glaring in it, and it's just really hot and uncomfortable. But I'm here. This is what committed to the cause is all about: dedication and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to mute out for the moment. If you wish to speak, then just unmute yourselves, and we'll let the party begin with just us for now. You know, people who really want. This is what I say about life and people's attitude, because your attitude determines your altitude. Now, if you want to achieve something in life and you want to go somewhere, I'm going to take this extract from Whoopi Goldberg's Sister Act. If you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. Yeah? And no matter what you want to achieve in life, you have to be present. Yeah? You have to be present. And that's the be all and the end all. And a lot of the time, people don't want to put in the work, but they have this great expectation of something. And when it doesn't meet, when that expectation is not met, they blame this and that. And we're all guilty. I put my hand up. You understand me? There ain't nothing that I'm saying that I know not to be so. And that's not because of my own experiences. Long before Jada Pinkett was having these red table discussions, my household was having these round table discussions. That's something I was talking about the other day, where someone inboxed me and said, Dee, remember the days when we'd be talking all hours of the morning? I said, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, emotional intelligence. Don't mess with my emotional intelligence. Now, you know, what can I say about emotional intelligence? I can say a lot, but before I go into it, let me just... Hi, Pastor Lloyd. Welcome back.
Hi, everybody. You good?
Yes,
Blessings,
we're great.
everybody.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So let me just
All
go
right.
through some little housekeeping rules. Though we approach each platform with the utmost level of respect for our viewers, for this we are mindful that there may be topics discussed that are sensitive and personal to you. However, we welcome your opinions and would appreciate if you could refrain from any hostile comments as we endeavour to maintain a holistic platform to be openly discussed freely and from a place of authentic maturity. And if we please you, just please tell others. You know, I say this every week. I hope I do. If I don't, I'm going to say it today. Just like how you're here today, I don't know how many people forward on the link or they just know the number off by heart because it's the same ID and password that I've used from the 1st of April to date. Share that link. Share that link, because if you get all this information and you're around people who are not like-minded as yourself, life can be pretty frustrating. So if you're learning this new tool or new way of living, share it with people so you're not alone. So people can reciprocate exactly what it is, the language that you're talking about. Because when you leave these platforms, you're learning a new language. In fact, you're becoming bilingual, because you're now going to be talking things that you've heard. You're going to be applying them into your life, these new ways of living. Well, I hope you are. And people are going to see these changes and want to know, what, you know, how did you know that? That's not like you. You didn't used to talk like that. You didn't used to behave like that. So I encourage you to share your links, get people on board, let them know the growth that you know, the journey that you've been going on from the 1st of April since I've started these platforms till whenever it has to finish. Well, they won't be finishing, they'll just be moving to a different platform or a different way of interacting with you. I'll still be having these, but I'm going up, you know. I've got dreams and I'm going to execute them.
Elevation.
So, elevate, yes, absolutely. And as I elevate, I want everyone to come with me, because it's lonely at the top. You know what I'm saying? It's lonely at the top. And I'm not about just me. I want everyone. If I can open the door, I just want everyone to come. I'm not going to force you. You have to want it for yourself. If it's likened to your palate, then by all means, come on board. So, last but not least, I hope you enjoyed tonight. Scott is with me. You'll soon see his handsome face shortly. And topic, don't mess with my or your emotional intelligence. Can I ask if you can hear drilling? Let's do this if you can. No? Okay.
No, I can't. Hey, Dee. No, I
Excellent. Can't. Hey, sis. Hi, Mel. You okay? Great stuff.
Evening, yes. Everyone.
Evening.
Evening.
Yes, so, okay. What is emotional intelligence? Well, it refers to the capability of a person to manage and control his or her emotions and possess the ability to control the emotions of others as well. Now, I know that was a mouthful, so I'll go through it again. It refers to the capability, of a person to manage and control his or her emotions and possess the ability to control the emotions of others as well. So I want your imagery to kick in now, because we're talking about confrontations here, or difference of opinions, and encounters that we've had with someone who just is not seeing things the way we see it. Yeah. So this is what this emotional intelligence is gonna open up to on this platform. So let's look at this mess we are talking about. So I'm a queen of acronyms, and I'm not going to look at Gemini because I know she's going to make me laugh. And the acronym for M.E.S.S is going to unfold. So really, it's the 5 key components, which are motivation, empathy, social awareness, self-regulation, and social skills. But Daniel Goleman, who is the psychologist behind all of this, he's got them all mixed up, but I've just put them in that way because it helps me remember what they are. And it kind of worked out for the topic, actually. Don't mess with my emotional intelligence. So yeah, hi Scott. So let's have a look at these 5 key components. Self-awareness. It is said that people with a high emotional intelligence or with high emotional intelligence understands their emotions and they don't let their feelings rule. Yeah. And the reason why I want you to pin your ear to each of these components, because you're going to need to be able to later on in the show compare notes with where we are now to the next part of the show. Yeah. So self-awareness. It is said that people with high emotional intelligence understand their emotions and they don't let their feelings rule. Self-regulation is the ability to control emotions and impulses. You rarely verbally attack others or make rushed or emotional decisions or compromise your values. Yeah? Motivation. People with high emotional intelligence are willing to defer immediate results for long-term success. So they have extremely high standards because of the motivation behind them. Empathy. You help develop people. You challenge others who are acting unfairly. You give constructive feedback and listen to those who need it. The last one, social skills. Are great communicators, can receive good and bad news well, always excited about supporting another and starting something new, and good at managing change and resolving conflict. Now, there were 5 key components. Maybe all 5 resonate with you. Maybe one out of them resonates with you. We're going to find out. As you know, Scott does a lot of work with children and families. And in that line of work where you're dealing with high emotions of others who with trauma, coming from these, you know, trenched in trauma situations where you're tackling children and families in whatever capacity it is, a lot of times you have to be able to have the patience of a saint. Is that right, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to be grounded.
Yes, yes.
You have to be emotionally intelligent.
Absolutely.
A lot of the work that we do, not even the work that we do, just the conversations that we have with family, friends, you have to have that emotional intelligence. For me, emotional intelligence is the ability to pick up on what's not being said, on the feelings. So that I've always, when I've done this platform with you, I've always spoken about that 6th sense, your gut instinct, your inner self. And for me, that's the key to emotional intelligence, emotional. You got to be in tune with that, because once you're in tune with your own, it becomes very easy for you to become in tune with others. But if you're not in tune with your own, that's when you get disharmony. That's what I call it, where you're not picking up nuances of conversations. So, yeah, I think emotional intelligence is a skill that you have to acquire. And that comes with spending time by yourself, literally. And then it makes you able to be able to spend time with others. So today, for example, I started at 9:30, and I had a call from yesterday that I should have made. And then I had a mum on the phone, and I've spoken to different professionals involved in the network, but I hadn't spoken to mum. So I had all of this information that I had got from the different professionals. But then in my conversation with mum, there were some things that was being said which I could sense wasn't how she was feeling. And for me, it was really about bringing those things. I call it being really curious about people's thinking and their feelings. So emotional intelligence is being open to what I call dance with those things. I'm sensing this. I don't know if I'm getting it completely wrong, but I'm feeling this. And then that almost gives the person the chance to pause and think, actually, what am I feeling? So by you being really in tune with your own emotional intelligence, you can then help others become in tune to theirs. What are they really thinking? What are they feeling? What does that actually mean? Because you're saying one thing, but how you're presenting to me is saying something else. So you're speaking about something which is quite serious, but you're laughing in the background. Do I feel comfortable enough to actually say that? But you know what, this conversation is really serious, and you're laughing, and I wonder what that laugh is about. Is that a laugh of embarrassment? Is it a laugh of, it feels uncomfortable? I don't know. I'm just asking what you see what I'm saying? And then you pick up those little nuances of where you're challenging little things, and then that person might then say to themselves, actually, why am I laughing? Am I laughing because this is difficult for me? And I didn't realize it was difficult. And that's something that I've learned to do. So yeah, emotional intelligence is it's a skill that you acquire. But you have to be in tune with yourself. And like what you said, it's being able to pick up on the emotions of yourself first, and then pick up on the emotions of others. Because once you learn it in yourself, and then you can actually pick up those cues from other people. So it helps in my day job. It helps in my relationships that I have with different people. It helps in all aspects of my life, knowing who I am. Sorry?
Oh, someone's volume went up.
Well, I thought they wanted to ask a question. Did someone want to say something?
Not yet.
Okay. So yeah, that's in response to your 5 kind of areas. Yeah, I think that's the key one for me, because it ducks and dives out of them. And I think you have to be aware of the 5 different aspects. But for me, when I sum up emotional intelligence, it's different from IQ, being brainy. Because anyone can pretend they're brainy. You just pick up a couple of books and reference stuff.
Absolutely.
So I'm not really that brainy, but I have a high emotional intelligence to connect with people. So when I say brainy, yeah, I went and studied. It was very hard for me because I didn't get tested for dyslexia till I was 49.
Wow.
And that was due to some difficulties at work that I had. So I had some difficulties at work. But my emotional intelligence also led me to understand why I had the difficulties at work. So I had the difficulties because I was picking up on my management things that they were unhappy about with me, because I was able to just name things. And I've spoken about this word already in previous ones. Shame is one of the emotions that really stops us from being our true self, because shame is such a powerful emotion. And in regards to this workplace incident, it was due to their shame why they went down a certain route. And I could sense that as well. And then when it was all over, we did this dyslexia test and I was dyslexic. And it kind of put a lot of things to bed. But from very early, I could pick up their cues around what their issues were. And when I actually danced with them and brought them to the forefront, because of shame, it just made them stay in the same position that they had embedded themselves into. You know, like when you dig your heels into something and you can't move because you've set yourself in this position where if I back down, I'm shamed.
Yeah,
and I can't
pride.
take that. Pride, ego. So I'm just going to dig my feet in even more. So I think that happens in work. I think it happens with families, with difficult complexities and nuances of the family. I think it happens in personal relationships. I think it happens in friendships. I think it happens in all aspects of our life. And once you know yourself, and I think this is why it's really good to spend time with oneself and just get to know yourself, know what makes you tick, know what feelings you have and where do you feel them in your body. Like when you're anxious, where do I feel that? Do I feel that in my calf? And understanding I've got this pain in my calf, this anxiety, and just sitting with it instead of thinking, you know, something, let me go and get some cream and rub it on it and try, you know, just sit with that anxiety. Just learn your own body, your own way how you react, the way how you feel. And I'm telling you, it really does help you to pick up the nuances of other people. And that can avoid conflict, because we all have conflict. I'm a married man, I have conflict all the time. But it's how I handle the conflict. Do I feel shamed and do I dig my feet in, or do I just acknowledge, actually, this made me feel like this, and, you know, express that emotion, and then it just takes the edge off things. So yeah, emotional intelligence, I'm very passionate about that subject. I'm passionate about a lot of things, aren't I, Diane?
Yeah, you are. I think that's why teamwork makes the dream work, Scott, because when you're passionate about something, your ability to express yourself from that place of authenticity and truth comes through, and people can relate and pick up on exactly what you said. The integrity of this person, it makes them want to come forward because they become comfortable and they want to share, because it's always done in, sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And you know, every action has a reaction. If you shout, I'm going to shout louder. If you belittle me, I'm going to find something to just come back at you with. And it's like ping pong, back and forth, yeah. And I thank you for that example, because you said, well, you always have, you know, add value to the discussions, and your experience, which is a vast amount of experience with the work that you do, and it requires having that passion and understanding for another human being. There are people that are in these fields because it pays well. There are people, well, if that's what you call paying well, but there are people that are in it because they're passionate about it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not digressing from where you are. I want to stay in that place, but I just want to make it noted that when you're dealing with children and families, you could be glue. Your role is so integral to the making and breaking of this union. So it's so important how your intellect defines exactly how you go about establishing this relationship of trust, especially trust, because that is the bridge that has to be built to allow you to cross over and them to come to you. So it's so important, and I get it, and I'm glad that this has come up, because the next thing I was going to say, and I say thank you again, Scott, is our emotional intelligence skills, which is what you touched on, are believed to be huge contributors. Again, you said the word in tune to our overall success in life. Due to their influence on our ability to manage self and motivate self. So it's a double-edged sword, but it's iron sharpened iron in the same breath, yeah? But it's down to our emotional intellect, and it's still, I'm going to go right back to the same 3 stages of development, because that's where all of that is factored into our understanding of self. There are people, you said it yourself, spending time with yourself to get to know. You know what I learned in this big old age was that hurt and pain have two different emotions. Hurt and pain. Yeah? How do you know when you're hurting differ to pain? You know what I'm saying? But they're so different. But we're going to go into that. Thank you. That shame and guilt is a stronghold. Again, soul ties. Anyway, our emotional intelligence skills are believed to be huge contributors to our overall success. So, for example, we have interpersonal skills. These are skills we use to interact with other people. Yeah? They enable us to communicate appropriately and build stronger, more meaningful relationships, which is exactly what I said in terms of establishing trust, especially when you're working in that field of work with children and families, because the dynamics of that, you could be your role is so integral. Yeah. So we're going to look at the emotional intelligent person and the 4 areas that they are to be skilled in. Right. So in other words, I or we can influence the emotions of other people. So what I'm really saying is that if I come to you raging with anger or mad as a hatter or like a red rag to a bull, now you know in children as young as they are, if you watch a child who's angry, once that mist descends, that's it. They've gone off key, they're gonna throw things, and then they have this like super strength that they get it from somewhere because they're so enraged. Yeah. But just imagine, as an emotional intelligent person, you are going to be able to de-escalate this situation. Yeah. No matter what age you are, no matter what you're confronted with, if you have these skills and know how to master these skills, you will become an emotional intelligent person to be able to do this. So this is a question for the audience before I give you all the areas. There are 8 primary emotions. Can anyone, or would anyone, like to have a go at identifying 8 emotions? Come on. There's 8 primary emotions. Okay, Ty, you said anger. Correct. That's 1. Fear. Yep. I hope you ain't got no book there.
Happiness.
Love.
Nope. Unfortunately,
Happiness?
love is not 1.
Happiness?
Hold on. Who said disgust? Ty again. I think Ty's got a book, you know. So we've got 3 out of the 8 so far.
What do we have?
We have we have fear, disgust, and anger.
You see, and I think it's really important that just to acknowledge that when we talk about emotions, you see how the negative emotions have come up first.
Say that again.
Can you see how the negative emotions have come up first?
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Why is that?
Because of the thinking. So I just wanted to bring that to the forefront of everyone's mind. Look what came up first, the negative.
That's
One of
interesting.
them is joy.
Happy.
Joy is there. Yeah, who said
Joy is
Elizabeth?
joy.
No, Sean, there's no worry. So we've got 4 more. So we've got joy, fear, disgust, and anger.
Was contentment 1?
Nope.
Content?
Nope.
Sadness.
Yes. You got
Next to which one?
3 left. Surprise, yes, Ty.
Try have a book, man.
Ty have a book.
Have a book.
I Google.
He ain't got a book. Ty have his phone and him have Google.
Oh,
Ty
yeah,
have
yeah, for
Google.
real, for real. You're
Ty
right.
No
have
book.
Google.
Yeah.
It's
Have
a
Google. Or him have Safari.
Okay,
Look, he's smiling.
he's smiling. Whoever, she, he, I don't know who it is. Okay, 2 more.
Cry.
Gemini.
Cry.
Oh, that's funny.
Cry.
What did you say?
Cry.
No,
Cry.
no.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay stum.
All right, well, I'll complete the last 2.
Come, yes.
Trust and anticipation. Yeah? So, joy, trust, fear, surprise, sadness, disgust, anger, anticipation are the 8 primary emotions. Yeah? Valence, is the word to describe whether an emotion is felt as positive or negative. Yeah? Arousal is the word used to describe the intensity we feel it at. Yeah? So there's 8 primary, but there really is 10 because balance and arousal give them meaning, give those emotions meaning. Yeah? Because they do so many things trigger these things. And I like the fact that, Scott, you picked up on the very first emotion that was spoken, you know, fear.
Mm.
And it's questionable as to why love is not one of those primary emotions. Yeah. Anyway, let's have a look. So those were identifying the emotions. Number 1, that's a skill. Identifying those primary emotions. That's not to say that the others don't matter, but these are the primary emotions. Yeah. Then we've got using emotions, number 2. So remember, there's 4 skills. The second skill is using emotions. They can motivate us to help others and help us to survive, thrive, and avoid danger. They help us to make decisions and follow other people to understand us and to understand others. The third skill is understanding emotions. So let me not lose you. We've got identifying them, using them, and now the third one, understanding them. You can feel and show emotions, but do not yet have the ability to name the emotion or say why one feels that way as we grow up for some. As we grow up for some, we become skilled in understanding emotions. Think about that. Yeah. You got a child. Why did you do it? You know, when you speak to a young child or even adults, they don't know. It's identifying these emotions. This is what I'm saying with this emotional intelligence. If you can't identify your emotions, it will dictate if you use it in the right way or the wrong way. Because what you may have an expression of love for someone, they may have hate, because that's their emotions. Do you know what I'm saying? You may love doing this, but they may hate when you do it. All right then. So, understanding emotions. You can feel and show emotions, but do not yet have the ability to name the emotion or say why you feel the way you do. Yeah. Some people are more naturally in touch with their emotions than others. So remember when I told you when we did the I don't know, well, a lot of you weren't on it, Scott, when we did the why do women go to men caves and women go to their she sheds, and we spoke about emotionally unavailable. Same thing, yeah. Remember it, Pastor Lloyd? And for others who were there, we spoke about emotional unavailable, yeah. And you know, you get the cold shoulder from that person, and so on. Anyway, last but not least, regulating emotions is having the ability to respond to the ongoing demands of experience with the range of emotions in a manner that is socially tolerable and sufficiently flexible to permit to spontaneous reactions. So Scott gave an example of earlier on when he said that that person was laughing and you didn't know if they got it right, and you know, shame, he used shame, and he used the word guilt. The regulating of emotions is having that awareness of what you're doing in that moment. Yeah, so you know, if I laugh, when someone's trying to be serious, you know not to laugh. Yeah, so that's regulating when to do it, because they say, you know, they say there's a time and a place for everything. If I'm being serious and you laugh in my face, I'm going to be offended. Yeah, because I'm trying to tell you something and you're taking this thing met joke. Those are the regular.
Some people laugh out of nervousness.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
A very emotional way of dealing with the serious topic.
And that goes back to understanding emotions. Some people are in touch with their emotions, some people aren't. Yeah, so it's knowing when to use it at the right time. You're right, nervousness, but someone who is skilled, or is an emotional intelligent person, they won't be offended if you laugh, because they're detached from that.
Okay,
yeah. Okay, so again, I'm going to throw this out. Would anyone like to share their understanding of how they've used these skills that we have discussed? Anyone? All right, I'll just tell you what Sean has said while you think about it. Sean has said, emotional intelligence is about you and controlling your emotion, or the control of the other's emotions. How is that affected by the interaction with different types? Now, I know you wrote that a while back, Sean, so I hope we kind of covered that with the skills of the people that have it, as to why that question can be answered, or we can answer that question that you've just posed. So no one likes to give an example, like think about the jobs you do using emotions, even in your household, your friendship groups, because you've got people around you all the time that are going through changes, and it's having an awareness of, can you look at somebody and know whether to offer help to that person? You know, behaviors can be executed that makes you question, that person's not normally that way. You know, you have an understanding of the emotions of somebody, like, as we said, the primary emotions that we've just talked about. You know, sadness. If you see someone, you know, displaying a sadness, or something that you would see they're disgusted by it, you'll be like, why, what makes you be disgusted about a thing, or angered by something. You know what I'm saying? There's things that make you question somebody's response that is different to yours. All right, but we'll move on because no one hasn't wanted to give an example of that. So we'll leave that there for the moment. So we know that there are 5 components. We've spoken about them. So let me just, self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. Scott has given examples how it's used in the work that he does, and I'm sure people can identify in their lives how important this awareness of emotional intelligence is. And we've looked at the, the primary emotions, and now we're going to move on to, IQ. Not going to speak much about it because really and truly, it's a concept that was designed by man to basically, it's a number used to express the relative intelligence of a person. So a score. When we take exams, when we have tests, they either do it by the group of people in a classroom setting, you out of 100, or they do it by age. So that IQ is to say, we asked 100 people at the age of, between the age range of 50 to 70, whatever the question was, and then again, statistics. Yeah. So that's just the measurement of something, the measure of our ability to reason and solve problems. It essentially reflects how well you did on a specific test or exam compared to other people in your group. Yeah. So this is one to really listen to this now, and this is a reference. This reference, let me just find the person because I like to. I got this information from a website called inc.com, INC, and it is written by Justin Parizo, yeah? And it's why EQ matters. So he says, especially, and this is important for those who work, it has been said that professionals with high IQ destroy their careers by having low emotional intelligence. The workplace is a place where both logical and emotional intelligence interactions take place between you and others. So high IQ people tend to overvalue the importance of IQ and undertake emotional intelligence. And it stands to reason why they would, because that's where they're comfortable. You know what I'm saying? If you're comfortable doing a thing, no matter what situation you're confronted by or you have to exert yourself, you're always going to show up smelling like roses where you're comfortable. But when you're in a workplace, especially with managers, because this is where the issue becomes problematic. Because remember, managers are looking at statistics, data, ticking boxes. Yeah, they call them key indicators, KPIs, key performance indicators. Yeah, the manager's mindset is different to that of their staff, because even though the staff are aware that they have to meet certain quotas by the end of the month, their main concern is, when I get to work, I want to be able to have a laugh with my colleagues. I want to work in an environment where I get on with everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? So you've got managers that don't make good leaders. Yeah? And this is very important. And I don't know if you know, there's this person called Edward Bono, and he has this theory and I learned this in management and leadership. It's called the 6 thinking hats. When you study, I don't want to get into the dynamics of it now, but it's really good to go and look up the 6 thinking hats. And what it does, it places people in their way of thinking. It's also like, you know, you've got learning styles. So you've got visual, audio, kinesthetic. People learn in different ways. Yeah. So this is the 6 thinking hats, which is a bit of the, you know, came about by this man, Edward Bono. And you can relate to every person you come across, even yourself, in the capacity of the workplace, and how you respond to managers, people on your level, people below you, because of how he's described these 6 thinking hats operate in any institution or establishment. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But when you have an awareness of emotional intelligence, you can see there's something about emotional intelligence. It kind of is like the creme de la creme, because it's like people who are unfazed by things, that no matter what way the wind's blowing, you can just go with the flow. Do you know what I'm saying? So have a look about these 6 thinking hats and see, because these are all learning tools or tools to help people be better communicators, live comfortably with others, because we're always going to be interacting with people on different levels. But the more you know, I'm not saying to drown yourself in it, but it's about awareness, because awareness is key. You know, it's key. I've got a little scenario here that I'd just like to throw out there. Again, this is about interaction, so I want someone to come on board with this. It's a role play scenario, but it's just going to help you kind of engage a bit more. Hold on, Ty has just said, empathy is the ability to share and understand the emotions of others. Not all are well versed in this, though. You're right. You're so right.
He's right. He's very right.
Very, very right. Your boss has just increased your workload, and you have yet to finish your previous assignment. How are you going to inform your boss about this using these 2 different scenarios? Emotional intelligence, using one scenario with emotional intelligence, or one without using your emotional intelligence, and you're going to use the IQ side of things. Yeah. So your boss has given you this increased workload, and you have yet to finish your previous assignment. So we're going to look at 2 approaches, one using emotional intelligence and the other with the IQ side of things. Every manager has to develop an understanding of the 2. How would you approach this situation with your boss who's just increased your workload, and you're still struggling with the workload that you've got? Anyone want to answer that? Don't all rush at once.
Well, me, the kind of person I am, I would not be doing it. But I'd have a conversation and I'd tell him that it's too much, and could he share the workload with other people if there's other people on the team. If not, it would just be, I'd do my best, but it would not be complete. Something is going to be left undone.
Okay, so what skill are you using in that manner, or not using? Right, I'll go over the 4 skills that we spoke about. Yeah. We spoke about the identifying your emotions, using emotions, understanding emotions, and regulating emotions. What skill are you using to approach this scenario? So you said that you're going to go to your boss and tell him, you know, there's other people. Why haven't...
Self-awareness that I'm not capable. I'll be using self-awareness that it's too much. It's too much of a workload for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd go and ask him to regulate the work of, you know. Well, not so much that, no, but it's basically awareness, self-awareness of my capability. I'd bring it to him and I'd try, hopefully, to make him understand or her understand.
As someone with emotional intelligence, you're supposed to have an understanding of your emotion and don't let your feelings rule.
Okay, got you.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, Sean, you've raised your hand. Let's have a look. Is that just to say, I'll go for it?
I was going to say that I would like to think that I would actually say, remind them first of all that the other work's not been completed, and then ask them what's their priority, how do they plan for us to get this through this, both jobs done, thereby throwing it in their court. That's what I'd like to say that I would do it. But the reality is that I would probably go, well, what about the other one?
Okay.
What do you want me to do? And I'd probably be a lot more blunt, to be fair.
And that's what you just said about you just use self-regulation from emotional intelligence perspective, because you're not compromising your value and your position. Yeah. So you see, and then you've jumped on to saying, but I would say to them, what about the other member of staff? So this is what I mean, how easy we can become triggered.
Can I jump in there?
Yes, Marilyn, go ahead.
Well, I think, okay, taking into consideration that the first task that I haven't completed and you want to put more on me, I think they know your capability, why they're asking you to do extra, and it's all about compromise. So they know you can do it, they know you can do more and beyond, because there's a quality of style of work that you produce. And as I said, they know you're coming to the end of the first assignment, and they know that you can do it. So I would ask for more time to complete. And that's what I would do.
And that is exactly what social skills would be used from an emotional intelligence standpoint, because you'll be looking at managing the change and resolving conflict, whereas Gemini and Sean said, well, they'd go and ask, well, what about the others? You know what I'm saying? So you're right to look at the fact that you've got an increased workload. So you're mindful of this workload. You've said that your manager knows
your capabilities and your quality of work, the quality of style of your work.
Exactly. And it's not because he couldn't ask the others. It's because he knows that he's more going to get
results.
Exactly.
Better results.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So let me just read some of these comments in here. Elizabeth has said, I will go to the boss and explain my position and proceed from there. Again, social skills. That's great communication. Yeah. Janet had said, if there is someone in your team you can work with. This way the boss knows you're not shying away from more responsibility, and in the same token showing dedication and rising to challenges. Again, good social skills.
Frozen.
Huh? I'm frozen.
Froze.
Can
So
you hear me?
You're
Frozen
moving
on
now.
mine.
No, you're not frozen on mine.
All right, so I just said that Janet said there is someone in your team you can work with. This way the boss knows you're not shying away from more responsibility, and in the same token show dedication and rise into challenges. Yeah? That's social skills. Elizabeth again has said, once you explain your disposition, leave it up to the manager to decide how to proceed. Again, social skills. And also there's a bit of you could see a bit of emotional IQ used in there, because that is using knowledge and wisdom. Yeah, because you're putting the ball back in their court. Yeah. Ty says, have conversation to explain that I understand they need the work from me. However, also explain the workload I am still working on and look together for a solution. So again, social skills, self-regulation, self-awareness, and coupled with some IQ there. So this is why this whole emotional intelligence can be the cause of something and the cure of something. Yeah. And hi, Shao, do you want to say something, or is it just hello?
Yes, please.
Go for it, girl.
It also depends on the type of manager who has requested the work to be done. And once you recognize the type of manager whom you're working for, my stance on that would be, I think it was Sean that said it earlier, what's the priority? Because you have urgent and you have important, you know? And once they can tell you which one is more urgent for them, then it's a case of talking and working towards that.
And this exactly, the social skills, communication, because a lot of people think if my manager comes to me with that same scenario, you kind of feel boxed into a corner because it's your manager. You have to do it. So therefore you take on too much. You ain't gonna meet that deadline. You're under pressure. You're gonna underperform. You understand me? Whereas emotional intelligence will enable you to assess everything, because you don't have to answer. And this is something that Claude said when we put him on the spot one of the times, when he's like, don't just say the first thing that flies off your head. Think about it. Yeah. And then, as Sharon said, weigh up the pros and the cons. Communicate that back to the very same person in a tact and diplomacy, so that they can say, oh yeah, you know what, I didn't think of it or see it that way. You know what I'm saying? You're right. Because when you take emotional intelligence and you start using it, my God, you see the world in a different way. People can't take liberties with you that are in position of managerial or positions of power. Yeah, because it's all like reverse psychology. Yeah. And it really is that. It's about being mindful of, hold on a minute, I ain't just gonna, because you tell me I must do it, I'm gonna do it when I know that I'm under pressure already. I've got these deadlines that need to be met. You can see I'm working, because they're gonna have this expectation of you to approach them with this anger, what we spoke about. Yeah. But if you are able to manage, which is the skill to manage and control how you execute. Someone said that delivery is everything. Yes, Ty. Yeah, it's all in the delivery, because it can dictate the reaction of everything. It can change the trajectory of where this thing is going. Yeah, so that's brilliant.
But it also as well is how it's been asked, how it's been delivered.
That's exactly it. Delivery is everything, Marilyn.
That's what. Yeah.
That's what Ty said.
Mhm.
So thank you for the interaction there and the engaging of this scenario, and I'm sure it's awakened your senses, and I'm mindful of time, and I'm going to get to the end of this. So Scott, just give me 5.
Not only that, you've got some lazy managers.
Yeah, again, that's what it is. You're letting them know, I ain't doing your dirty work, but you're doing it in a tact and diplomacy. Because a lot of the times it ain't for you to do, but because of their position, they like to throw authority or exert their authority onto people, and because their manager expect you to jump. No, there's ways of doing things. Yeah. So if you have ever wondered why you are smarter than your boss, yet you are working for him or her, you may understand this point. Exactly that. The emotional intelligence, the skills that you implement into delivering it will get you out of the situation that you can walk away from and not feel that you've compromised your position. Yeah? They know it, you know it. Goodbye. Go and ask some other mug. But it ain't me. So I'm just going to throw scripture in here, as we always do. Luke 23:34, and I'm reading it from the Message. Basically, go easy on others as yourself. Father, forgive them. They know not what they are doing. Yeah? Simple as that. All right? So the next time you're facing conflict with your work, with your partner, with family, it could be that you are using the wrong skill, method, technique to solve the problem, to move forward. Remember this. In life as humans, we have IQ. It's necessary. It's intellectual ability to manage ideas, knowledge, and thoughts. The possession of the means or skill to do something. We need emotional intelligence because it cuts out so much in terms of working people up, saving marriages, saving relationships, saving your position in a job. Understanding it's the capability to manage relationships and people, as we've said, and it's the power and the ability, most importantly. I hope this, it's just the power and the ability to manage conflict, as Scotty mentioned earlier on, in that moment. Do you know what I'm saying? I know it seems like it's a lot to do, but when you spend time with yourself, you realize, because this is where all of our main fundamental learning comes from, when we spend it with ourselves. Because when we're with others, we're influenced by people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when we sit with ourselves, we've only got ourselves to really wrap ourselves around and meander our way out and through. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to spend time alone and get to know who you are. Understand your emotions. I gave you an example earlier on, that hurt and pain, 2 different emotions. You know what I'm saying? How, I wonder, I know, I want you to go away and find out how come hurt and pain are 2 different emotions. Get to know them. And the thing with emotions, you feel them, but you can't touch them. Yeah? You feel them, but you can't touch them. Okay. So, sort out your mess: motivation, empathy, social skills, social regulation, self-awareness. Yeah? And let no one mess with your emotional intelligence. We have come to the end of the platform. Yeah? Scott, what did you just do? Was that a thumbs up?
It was a thumbs up.
Excellent.
It's good.
Thank you.
It's good.
Yeah. I like that. I enjoyed that. I wish I could have continued. Really, really, really important. Look it up. Daniel Goleman is the brains behind it all. And like I said, the 6 thinking hats, Edward Bono, you can look up all of that as well. And don't worry about how you've been before. Now you know, do something about it. The next time the world's opening up, people are going back into the environment, You're going to be in close proximity with your friends. They might be riled by something. Don't take it personal. It's not yours. Know how to handle yourself. Yeah. Thank you once again. All I can say is be excited for next week, because I'm doing a Soul Ties Part 2. Now, I don't know if anybody knows, back in the 90s, there was a group called 3-6 Mafia. Really heavy hip hop group. Yeah, back in the 90s.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah.
I'm going.
3-6 Mafia. Okay, we're going as well.
I got at 8 o'clock. Sorry.
No problem at all, Scott. Thank you. I'm going to shut down anyway, but just letting everybody know, next week, Soul Ties 2, a male dominating the platform, Del Lawrence. He's an author. He's got a trilogy book called Detox, Love, Lust, and something else, Sex, I think. But next week, whoever enjoyed Soul Ties last week with Dr. Shaw, we're back with a male coach. So, date for your diary. It's on.
Thank you.
Right? So thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you, Scott. See you next week.
Cheers, hon.
Enjoy the
Once
rest
again,
of the
guys.
weekend. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.